3, 2, 1, go. So yeah, I am just holding start here through this whole cutscene, or just through this entire section, and it automatically skips all of them. Thank you for the look. Okay, so this one's kind of fun. I did this one. My frames. I did this one, like I said, 3 years ago, and I kind of botched it. And also, this is considered, I feel like this is considered one of the harder ones casually, because people have a really hard time against Gwen, because you do have to, this is one cool one, because it actually shows gameplay outside of just, you know, gifting, growing crops, blah, blah, blah. We actually don't need any money for this ending. We just need to befriend Bob. You might think that you need to befriend Gwen, and Fogu would have you believe the same thing. There actually is a optional cutscene with Gwen near the end of the ending, near like one of the last few, between a couple of the last few cutscenes. Thanks for luck, Rena. But you're not required to trigger that cutscene. It only triggers if you have befriended Gwen to a certain amount, but you don't need to do it. So we don't befriend Gwen at all. We don't need any money. But we actually get to ride the horse in a race against Gwen and Bob. And from what I've seen online and from my own experience, Gwen is pretty tough. I mean, if you haven't played it before and you don't quite understand, it's a little bit clunky. But I think it's intended to be difficult. It's definitely not intended to be just easy, which is good. I think that it's a good challenge. Once you know how to beat her, it's easy. I'll probably still save before the race though, just because if you fail it, I never remember how to re-challenge her. Excuse me, because she doesn't come to your farm to challenge you again, so you have to do it on like a certain day or something, and I can't remember what it is. I'll make sure to save before I'll make sure to save before the race against Gwen, but I should be able to beat her. And actually, I'm playing on keyboard, so it's a little bit easier. Yeah, as the movie game, I know. Okay, so this is Gwen's a good girl. She acts like a bad girl, and this is some allegory. This is like some weird, like, metaphor the game's going for. So the good girls, Gina and Katie, like the oh no, this isn't Gwen. I'm sorry, this is actually Bob. Yeah, the good girls, Gina and Katie, like the villainous answers. They like the negative pattern, all 3 negative answers. Gwen, I think, is actually in the mixed category. She's in, you know, either yes, yes, no, yes, no, yes, whatever. Just any combination of the 2 in the mixed category. But Bob is a good boy. He's a, you know, hey, there you go, for Lena. Bob is one of the heroic characters in Save the Homeland. So he gets plus 15 from the positive pattern. So I answered all of them with the first answer, the default answer. So of course, when I first played this game and I tried to speedrun it, I was always just picking the top answer every time because it's fastest. You're just mashing through the text, you're picking the default answer, but it turns out that it actually affects the okay. I can't remember what I was just saying before this. I was rambling. Oh yeah. Pete actually figured out a really easy way to. Pete was a guy. I don't remember his. Frames. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't think so. I might have figured it out. I don't remember if I figured it out without using Cheat Engine. I don't think I did. Excuse me. Running nose. Okay, so. Intro gift. Dang it. So we need, in order to obtain the horse, we need to get. No. Yeah, I guess it's noob strats. Noob strats. Let me explain it. Okay. come on. Okay, thanks, Bob. You need to get, in order to get the horse, you need to get Bob to 120 affection, and then there's actually there's a hidden affection, dang it, a hidden affection value for all these horses. So he has 5 horses, and you need to get their collective pool of affection. I don't remember what the number is, but you need to get it to a certain number, and at the end of it, if you're interested, I mean, just if you're interested in more specifics, you can actually pick which horse you get. So when you get the horse, I think it's like 180. They have to be at a total of 180, all the horses together. And each of them gets a certain amount for talking and a certain amount for brushing. And at the end of it, the horse with, you know, so they have to get to the threshold as a group, but then the horse with the most affection is the one that you're given. And in order to break the tie, because if you just talk to all of them equally, they would all be tied. So in order to favor one, the game gives an advantage to the first horse that you talk to. The first horse that you interact with gets a higher talk interaction for just that interaction. Hang on. So I need to make sure I keep track of this. So this is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. What? Dude. No, dude. Oh my god. This is exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Okay, I need to just read the notes. God, what? This is mild season. This is real mild season luck. Anyway, so it gives an advantage to that horse. So if you want to pick a certain horse, just whichever one you want. Use that. Talk to that one first on your first part-time work. Okay, so I need to make sure that I have this figured out. Give Bob until 11. Okay, I can make this work. That's just horse crap. This would be a reset if it was real. You can only lose, what is it, 3? Can't remember how many rainy days you can lose. I don't think it says here. So you want to get all, you need to gift Bob 11 times, and he's closed on Thursdays, so you lose Thursdays, and then the way that the math works out, you need to do 8 part-time works. And so obviously you want to do part-time work on days when you're talking to Bob anyway. So the time loss is going to be from the fact that I'm going to have to take extra trips up here to do part-time work, because so you need to gift him 11 times, but you need to do 8 part-time work. So that means that you only want to take 3 solo trips up to Bob just to gift Bob. But all other 8 you want to be gifting Bob, and so he's available. So the rain doesn't change his availability. It just changes whether you can do part-time work, because you can't do part-time work in rain. So anyway, so you only have, and actually as with a lot of Harvest Moon games, Sunday. That's so stupid. As with most Harvest Moon games, I think most Harvest Moon games, the game doesn't start on the 1st of spring. It starts on the 2nd of spring. So you start on Tuesday the 2nd. So you only have, and then the rainy season starts on the 17th. So you only have from the 2nd to the 16th, and you lose 2 Thursdays in there as well. So it's kind of a crapshoot. It's actually quite tight. I think you can only lose 3 days. Oh dang it, I screwed up. So one just key strat. I just messed this up, but Tim always starts every day running from his house all the way down to stand outside Ronald's by about 9 a.m. And you can use him as a timer. Otherwise, I can use my own timer, but it's easier to use Tim as a visual cue. If I run all the way up here without stopping, I need to wait for this to open at 8 a.m. And obviously every time I check the door, I'm losing time because the clock's stopping when I open the text, when I try to open it and it says it's locked. So instead what I can do is I can wait on the last screen, wait for Tim to get to the bottom of the hill, and then I know I've figured it out to where I know that once Tim reaches a certain point, that's my cue to go to the next area, climb the hill, and then the way it's timed, I'll enter Bob's at just at 8 a.m. So that's just and this is our third. This is hard enough with PS2 controller because these horses literally just turn and like they just spin around on the spot with no rhyme or reason, and you can only brush them directly from the side. So it's actually really annoying. This is kind of hard to do properly, but okay, that's the third. I just need to. Okay, this is sort of hard to keep track of. That's okay. Like I said, this is Sunday. If it's Sunday, that means Parsley's right here. Isn't he? Okay, never mind, it's Monday. No, it's gotta be Sunday. Because Lila's, yeah, it's Sunday, yeah. Because Lila's. Okay, Parsley must come down there later, maybe? I'm not that, or maybe he leaves. Okay, fair enough. Monday. Wait, okay. So I wait down here. Like I said, I'm waiting for Bob's shop to open. Tim will appear at the top of the hill in a minute, right? Kind of confused. Why is he not there yet? Unless it's Thursday. Oh no, he's right there. Okay, I'm like, yeah, that's definitely Monday. Okay. Okay, so then when he gets there, I know I'm good to go, and Bob should be open right now. Yep. So that's 4, and this is my third part-time work. Normally I wait until the 4th gift to start doing part-time work so that I can track it along with Bob's gift, so that I know that I finish Bob at the same time that I finish the part-time work, but that's really, I did it the other way just because I'm not going to be resetting for the perfect weather anyway. I suppose I could have done it that way anyway, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Of course I got perfect weather in practice, and but this is how I messed it up a couple years ago because, yeah, I ended up thinking I was gonna trigger, I think, obtaining the horse, but I didn't, and so I ended up getting rain. No, it wasn't that. Yeah, because if I did that, then I still could have gotten around it, but. Yeah, anyway, in some way I ended up with the horse in rain, and it's bad news when you got the horse in rain and you end up having to take care of it and you don't have it. I think I might have gone for a backup strat with Gina. Yeah, you can fix it pretty quickly, but it still forces you to go out of your way. And I said this is Monday, right? So this one's a little bit slow. New Game Plus for this ending is kind of neat because you Tuesday, you already have the horse. So in a previous ending, you would obtain the horse, and then you just need to befriend Bob in order for him to challenge you to the race, and then dang it, and then So, but the nice thing about it is that you can use the horse to ride up to Bob's. Technically, sorry if I'm dropping a lot of frames. I don't know how bad it looks, but or if I'm cutting out. But anyway, technically, I think most New Game Plus runs should use the horse, but it kind of depends. I haven't used it historically for a lot of runs, but I probably could be worked into it. Of course. Totally my fault. Totally my fault. Simply forgot to forage. And technically this is kind of a silly mistake because technically this is one of the easiest endings in terms of foraging because you always have free time before Bob's shop opens. So, okay, that was just a silly mistake, that's okay. Okay. Mild season always has a way of triggering you. So this is Tuesday the 9th. Tuesday the 9th, and then okay, I think I already marked it. Yeah, that's 5. Yeah, that is 5. Tuesday the 9th. No, it can't be. No, it's like Tuesday the... This is the 16th? No, it is Tuesday the 9th. How many days did I lose? I lost 3? I'm a little bit confused. I must have lost 3. Yeah, okay, I would have lost 3. Fair enough, fair enough. Wednesday. Thursday. Friday. Saturday. Typical. Typical. That's okay. We'll end up doing the backup. It's not, it does, you got pretty much, you don't really lose that much time. In fact, I think this would, it wouldn't really be fine for world record attempts, but for purposes of a marathon, you lose very little time, so. I said this is Saturday. God, I can't keep track of days for the life of me now. Ah, I didn't forage. So dumb. Did it again. That's okay. That's good because I can wait. I can do this. This is only a little bit slower than. We're just gonna grab one, and then tomorrow I just have to forage. Don't know. Yeah, don't know what I'm thinking. Okay, so that's 6. This one wraps up pretty once we get the horse. That's okay. Okay, so I just make sure forage tomorrow, and this is, I don't even remember, Saturday, right? Okay, Saturday, fine. A lot of day checks. The first run was like amazing. I was really happy with the K contest run, but he's been a little bit shaky. It's okay. Okay, so that's 6, that's 5. So just 3 more part-time works, but I have to be careful not to do the last part-time work. I have to be really careful how I do this. Sunday. Okay, now we do the rest of our foraging, and we only need 5 more. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, if this is Sunday the 14th, it doesn't matter because I'm gonna end up. Even if I did Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. No, if I did Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, then I would end up. Well, no, it wouldn't matter because I would. I did it again. That's good. Yeah, it wouldn't matter because actually it would matter. Yeah, I have to be very careful here. Because I can't have, if he gives me the horse before the rainy season, that's what loses a lot of time. Because then you have to take care of, then you don't have a cutscene to use in order to leave the horse outside for good weather. And that's where you end up having to just care for the horse 5 days in a row and you're screwed. So we just have to make sure that we don't do our 8th part-time work before the rainy season, and we're good. That's 3. I know it's kind of confusing. If you sit down, yeah, if you sit down and look at the notes, it's a lot more straightforward. I think I'm just having to kind of work this out on the fly because obviously I got the worst possible rain luck. I like lost all the days, like all the flex days that I would have had right away, and then lost like 2 more already after that. Okay, so that's 7 or 6, and this is Sunday. 6. Oh, I also have to buy animal medicine. You don't have to buy animal medicine, but I don't even think on this route you would end up needing to use it as long as. Yeah, I don't even think you need it, and you don't need to use it, but I'll still buy it. And one of the annoying things about this game as well, for some reason, you can only, well, I don't know if it's like this in other Harvest Moon games, maybe somebody can correct me, but you can only have 1 animal medicine at a time because it's treated as a tool. So you couldn't have multiple backup animal medicines, for example. And then on this day, since we've already done our foraging, we're just going to, we do need just 1 fodder. And so, like I said earlier, you have to cut 3 pieces of grass for 1 fodder. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm not sure how it is in 64, but at least in this game. I said this is. Monday. I just can't keep track. It's hard to keep track. Honestly, like, obviously it's Harvest Moon and it's not technically demanding, but when you do runs of this and you're actually trying to be, you're trying to actually be optimal about it and not check the day all the time, it's actually very fast-paced. You know, periods of time when you would normally be able to think about what you're doing, you don't really have in this game because there are no cutscenes really that you can just sit through and think. That's one thing about Pokemon that is kind of crucial is, you know, there's obviously parts of battle where it's showing text or things like that, or cutscenes where you're just mashing. You know, those are periods of time that you as a runner are using to kind of plan out what's your next move. Okay, I'm in this situation, I have this much HP, you know, this next fight's going to do such and such amount of damage, or these are the possibilities, whatever. Then you can sort of do some decision making. This game is very, very... Dropping frames again. This game is very, very quick. And all the while you also have to be keeping track of the day in the back of your head. And like I've already forgotten what day it is. I'm pretty sure it's Monday. Yeah, I think it's Monday the 15th. It's Monday the 15th. And then tomorrow, I'm not going to do part-time work because if I did part-time work tomorrow, that would be my 8th part-time work. And I would get, at least I really hope that I didn't miscount, because if I did, then I've already botched it, but I'm pretty sure I did. I'm actually going to save, to be honest, because now I don't trust myself, but I'm just going to save. That's okay, Okay, I got rain anyway. Okay, so I definitely didn't. So of course, dude. This is so weird, dude. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So yeah, no, I totally agree, Retro, honestly. And it's a little bit frustrating. I mean, it's part of just sort of the skill, I guess, of running the game. And I kind of enjoy it in some respects because it does allow you to... wait, no. This would be the 8th. Oh, no, this would be the 8th. Okay, so I'm actually going to wait. Dang it, I did it again. It is manageable, but in some instances, it's actually hard because you're trying to keep track of what day it is throughout the day, but then also you're doing other things as the day unfolds, and then all that time you have to remember what you said to yourself at the beginning. Okay, it's Wednesday the 1st or something, right? Yeah, in this game, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can see why they didn't in this game, but I think they could have just zoomed out the camera slightly and probably done it. And it wouldn't have had to be a very big HUD, it could have just been... Not doing part-time work on that day, so we're at 9 gifts, so I'll do the last part-time work on the last day that I gift him. And thankfully, I didn't mess it up, we're all good. We're gonna be fine. This is Monday. The 22nd, Tuesday the 23rd. Yeah, no, in Magical Melody you have an on, just by default you have an on-screen HUD that tells you It even tells you the weather, honestly. I mean, this is one of the first few games, but I mean, 64 didn't have one. I did it again, dude. Odyssey SNES didn't have one. He's not really botched this. Okay, Tuesday though. Okay, I'll buy the ammo medicine today as well. Dang it, dude. I keep screwing this crap. That's good. Actually, wait. No, dude. Yeah, I don't want to do part-time work. You have to talk to that little piece of paper to buy the... So I want to buy ammo medicine. Thanks, man. You're welcome, dude. Bob is such a bro. Such a nice bro. Okay, Tuesday. I'm not complaining. I still actually kind of like it because there are various clues that you can use to tell what day it is. The only problem is if you need to know whether to leave your farm in the first place, then you have to at least have a general idea of what day it is. Otherwise, Wednesday. Otherwise, you screw it up. And so right now I'm in the dry season, so I'm not in any danger of getting the horse too early. That's what I was saying earlier. If for some reason you because like I said, actually, so Bob's cutscene when he brings you the horse is like any other farm cutscene where somebody comes to your farm in the morning. It will force good weather. So let's say that I did all my part-time work before the rainy season. I did all of the 8 part-time works, right? And then I got Bob's. Actually, I don't think he needs 120. I take back what I said earlier. He doesn't need 120 to give you the horse. He needs only 30 to give you the horse, or something like that. Which means as soon as you've even given him a few gifts, after you do that 8th part-time work, it's over. He's giving you the horse the next day. So that cutscene will force good weather, and let's say that he does that in the middle of the rainy season. Well, guess what? You'll get good weather for that day, but the very next day is going to be rainy. So if you get it in the middle of the rainy season, it's bad news bears. And that's where you lose a lot of time having to take the horse back inside and blah blah blah, and then so the cutscene that we're actually going to be using to, so this should be it, right? Yes. So yeah, on the last part-time work, you just barely need an 8th part-time work, but on the last part-time work, you just talk to one of the horses. So we're just going to talk to our buddy, the black horse, and the black horse is the coolest horse anyway, so this is the one that I always end up getting, in my opinion. Yeah. So hopefully I did that correctly, and then we will end up getting the horse tomorrow. But yeah, so then, yeah, so what you want to end up doing is you want to make sure that, yeah, 0 gold? Seriously, Bob? What the? Yeah, so what you want to end up doing is, if in a no reset setting, if you have lost too many days of rain, you want to make sure that you don't do your last part-time work before the rainy season starts. You just want to go through the rainy season and screw it, we'll do it after that. We'll do it in the dry season. So now in the dry season I have I don't know, 2 weeks to make it happen. And so now we should be at this tomorrow. And from here, it's going to be smooth sailing. So please tell me. Boom. Okay, easy. Yeah, so now it's smooth sailing. Now it's easy. So basically, once you're... so like I said, you leave an animal outside, it gets +6 if it's left out in sunny weather. And it seems like these cutscenes tend to force sunny weather, but they don't always. So it's like you don't always get +6, but enough of the days are going to be sunny to where the +6 works. I need to test it more, but I've never really had too many problems with it. So it does tend to work. My point is, if these cutscenes only force non-rainy weather, then you could still get cloudy weather. In the case of cloudy weather, and you wouldn't leave your house to find out either, so you wouldn't know. In the case of cloudy weather, and I believe I had to just take him outside, right? He's not in the field yet. In the case of cloudy weather, you wouldn't get the +6. But if you sleep for enough days, I mean, and obviously I'm doing a kind of a marathon safe route anyway, where I sleep some extra days just to guarantee that I've got my horse, because your horse's speed is dependent. Actually, right now I can't even ride the horse. Otherwise, I would obviously ride him to the door. So I can't even ride the horse because his affection is not high enough. And then once his affection is at 1 heart, you get a cutscene where Bob visits. So I'm going to use that cutscene in order to extend my... So I have plenty of time to get him to 1 heart. I think it's only like 5 days. So right now it's the dry season anyway, and I can't get rain. But after a few days, I've gotten him to 1 heart. So by about now, I've already got the first heart cutscene queued up. So I'm actually going to save just in case. It sounds silly, but there's basically nowhere. So we're good. So now we're going to sleep until the fall. We're basically going to do the same strat as we did in Cake Contest. We're going to sleep until the fall dry season, which, if you recall, dropping frames. We're going to sleep till the end of the fall rainy season, which then leads into the fall dry season. And because of that, we'll have that goes from like fall 22 until winter 8. So we have those like 2 weeks, over 2 weeks, to complete the ending. And at that point, so like I said, I actually don't think that you would ever need the animal medicine. On a more optimal route, I think you would only sleep until like summer dry. I can't remember how it works, but you would have a chance to get rain. So this is 1. I think so. The Arabian deck card. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, I'm going to just verify, 22, yep. So now we're going to get the 1 heart cutscene. And then tomorrow we're going to get the 2 heart cutscene, so there's also a 2 heart cutscene. So then we use this cutscene to get another day of free and then actually for some reason, I forgot to whistle, for some reason you have to bring your horse into the barn in order to get the challenge from Bob. So that's why we got 1, at least that's what I've found. I feel like there's something more that I need to figure out, but that's why we got the 1 piece of fodder earlier, because we just need to feed him for 1 night. Doesn't matter about the weather, it's just that he needs to be at, Bob has to be at 120 affection. I think you have to have already triggered the 1 heart and the 2 heart cutscene. But if you try and race Gwen with 3 hearts on that horse, you are gonna lose. So we make sure that we have 5 hearts. You can beat her with 4, but it's just harder. And I'm gonna save just in case I lose one. So this one, because you have an option, you can't skip it. So Bob will ask you and you say, yes, I want to race. Okay, so honestly, this has been fine. I made some kind of silly mistakes and lost just little bits of time, and we also got some very weird rain luck in these past 2 runs, but it's all good. This is also a fun one that I think it's pretty easy to get into. This one and Audra Swallowtail, I would say, are probably the 2. If you're just trying to dabble, I would say these 2 are kind of the most interesting. Audra Swallowtail to kind of get into it, and this one to kind of just... This one's a little bit more interesting than some of the other endings. Okay, but Bob is a total pushover. There's basically no possible way you can lose to Bob. Keyboard makes this a lot easier. Not a lot easier, but... Oh yeah, we're definitely on base, yeah. we'll definitely. I don't know. What did you give as an estimate? 55 or an hour? I think I gave you an hour. It should be way up, yeah, well under. Because we just have to sleep for like 2 weeks after this. After this race. Oh yeah, we're good. Well, and we'll definitely be able to watch the credits. This is also underrated track as well. I mean the music. So there's a technique that you can do with the controller. I'm not going to be able to explain it very well using keyboard, but basically you can use the fact, and Pete figured this out, some guy who just kind of played horse race for a brief minute, for a brief bit. Okay, hang on, let me just be quiet. Well, the noob strat, or like the key at least, is to just take her on the inside. So you need to make sure that you get the inside, and then just by that alone, you can easily just cheese it. I mean, there's almost no way to lose if you take her on the inside. But yeah, Pete found out that you can, like, basically when you turn, especially, so you need to hold forward. You're not like holding A to move, you're actually holding forward to go. So when you press right on the stick, which most people would use the stick to control it because it's kind of just the smoothest, when you then turn, you're actually taking away from your forward vector. So you're losing speed when you turn. And obviously you need to slow down a little bit anyway just to make sure that you don't go flying off, because the turning in this is actually kind of, like I said, kind of clumsy. Okay, that's easy. But if you are, while you're turning, if you just press, or while you're turning with the stick, if you just kind of press up on the D-pad, you can get your momentum back. It like puts you back at max speed. So you can like lose the momentum from turning, and then very quick just tap the D-pad with your other finger, your other thumb, tap up on the D-pad to get back to your momentum, to your top speed. And I think it's instantaneous. Anyway, so that's a good easy strat as well. But just the general strat is that you want to be on the inside. And we need to make sure that we take the horse outside, I believe, because it goes back into the barn. So that's a big mistake that you could make if you. Because now, Bob and Gwen want to enter the horse into some horse race that's going to save the town, blah blah blah. So that's the plot. But wait a minute. Come on. Oh, bro, dude. Dude. Okay. I just do this because that's so annoying. The easiest way is to just drive him into the wall and then push him from the side. This is so stupid. Yeah. Pushing in this game is honestly, even without keyboard, I find it very cumbersome. I don't think it's very. So you got to take him outside and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so now he wants to enter him into a horse race. So he tells you there that he wants to enter him into a horse race. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then here is where he picks him up and takes him to the horse race. So now he has your horse, and then you literally just sleep one more day, and then that's it. So actually, wait a minute. Oh, it's winter 9. Okay, actually no. So you're actually, that's actually perfect. So the winter rainy season, or winter dry season, ends on the 8th. So if you do the strat that I just did, which is just a good general no reset strategy for marathons, or even if you're just trying to go for a consistently good time, your horse cannot get sick as long as you play it correctly. And I think you have until at least the end of spring to make sure you get the horse. So as long as you play around the rainy season properly, then you should be totally fine. It's optimal to get it to actually get it, finish your gifting and your part-time work before the rainy season, but it's hard to do that. And like I said, I think you can only lose like 3 non-Thursdays, something along those lines. But anyway, so that's cool. Okay, so we'll just let this play out, and so okay, it was fun playing these. big thanks to Desert and Demo for pretty much running this single-handedly. I am some type of leadership figure of sorts in HMSR, but I did not help them with this. They deserve all the credit, and I really appreciate them putting it on, and really appreciate. So I'm hoping that as we grow the community, we can get more people to help them out with these. I wasn't able to really do much this year, but I'm glad I was able to run, and we really want to do biannual marathons, so we want to keep doing HMV, but then hopefully maybe August, since that'd be about 6 months after this marathon, we do some sort of themed marathon. So we did Mineral Town. Thank you, Kelly. We did Mineral Town last August. That's true. No, I know that, but I mean just the logistically running this. I mean, you guys are the ones who are staying up. I know that you're a degenerate anyway, Desert, so it's okay. I suppose it's okay for you, but anyway. But yeah, so I was glad to do the Outer Swallowtail run earlier today. It was on short notice, but I derusted it. Was happy to do it. But yeah, if you're not in the Discord, definitely join the Discord. I know there's a bunch of lurkers out there. I don't know how many viewers this would probably dip. Everyone hates Save the Homeland, you guys. I know you all hate this game, but it's actually fun. And I almost kind of wish, I almost want to do runs where I don't skip the cutscenes. And it's not because, I mean, in those cases, it would actually be, it wouldn't be that much longer, but they would be a little bit bulkier runs, and people would actually know what the hell's going on, because you would just see the cutscenes. It would give you time to kind of slow down a little bit. But without that, I mean, like I say, they're actually really fast-paced speedruns. They've been fun to route. What we really need is, Desert has commented on it before, Save the Homeland is probably one of the least broken of all the Harvest Moon games. You've seen all kinds of super glitchy routes over the past couple days. Magical Melody, for example, what they've done in the past year, what Lana's done, Desert, what Desert's discovered, and various things. Proper, what you think of when you think of broken speed games. But Save the Homeland is decidedly not. The weed intro, as I described earlier, is one of the few, and also I guess the cutscene, the weather manipulation, but that's not really a glitch. That's just kind of taking advantage of it's just an exploit. But I would love people to get into this game and actually start finding glitches. There is an out of bounds glitch that can just, it's one of the easiest to pull off. You easily just get out of bounds. And we think that there may be a way to trigger cutscenes from out of bounds, and if we could do that, find some area out of bounds that when you enter it triggers a cutscene. Not really sure how that works on a theoretical level, but I've seen there's a parallel in Metroid Prime 3 that I've seen with the Elysia skip, or the Skytown skip, whatever. Anyway, you can skip a part of that section, but. So I would love to see people get into this, and I don't know, we need more glitch hunters in the community. So I want to encourage everybody who's watching to get involved in speedrunning. What I love about Harvest Moon speedrunning too is we have a bunch of people. We're not a bunch of speed heads. We're not hardcore about we're not hyper competitive about pressing buttons fast. We like Harvest Moon. We think there's real depth to the kind of system in the game. In the various games, and we like routing, we enjoy theory crafting. There's very active discussion, and I think it's a nice speed community for people who want to enjoy speedrunning in a more relaxed way, and who also love Harvest Moon. So we need not just runners, but we also need kind of scientists, researchers. We already have a couple of those. For example, Exodrid, crazy, never seen him do any runs, but he just posts stuff, and he's constantly posting in the HMDS Discord. So all the games, there's so many games, and there's really super wholesome. Honestly, it's I've been in a couple different speedrunning communities, and nothing really compares to HMSR. So appreciate just the atmosphere, and I hope that people will join. And yeah, if you're interested in this game, just seriously, hit me up on Discord. You can hit me up on Twitter. Just request a follow, and we're posting the Discord and time. And also all my notes are my Pastebin, which is just my Pastebin is my same as my Twitch account, G_Hines. You can find all the notes. Even if you want to play these games casually, I have the requirements for all the cutscenes. Treasure Hunt usually tricks people up, so if feel free to check those out. If you have any questions, just hit me up. Thanks for everyone for watching, and thanks for letting me run. And who's next? I don't know, but I'll be chilling in the chat, so just cut me off whenever. But thanks a lot, everybody.